And good morning. We are here again Monday morning with Roy Rickstrew, the disability guru. We're going to be covering the basic questions you should be prepared to answer when you're talking about a disability case, and we'll get to them right after this.
I want to be your disability rep.
And here we are. We're back. Basic questions, huh?
Yeah, pretty routine stuff, but
Well,
you'd
that
be
makes
amazed
sense.
how many times in hearings folks just kind of draw a blank when they're asked some of these very basic things.
Yep.
It's funny, you watch television, you see the crime shows on TV, and they bring somebody in and they say, where were you? Do you have an alibi? Who can attest to? Do you have receipts?
And they just tell you.
Yeah, but we always have these basic questions that we see in each and
Right.
every one of these crime documentaries or shows. Same kind of thing happens with Social Security. You come into the hearing, one of the first things the judge wants to know is, how are you managing? Right?
Yeah.
If you're not working, you're unable to work, somebody's paying rent, somebody's paying utilities or a mortgage payment, or how's that happening?
Right.
And a lot of times, folks are getting help from friends or family, which is a perfectly fine answer. But other times people just kind of look at you blankly and they don't have much of an answer.
Yep.
And in the judge's mind, that suggests maybe you're working, cash under the table, odd jobs, something that you're not telling the whole story.
Burning through savings, going into debt,
Sure.
help from friends and family.
Yeah, credit cards galore, something.
Yeah, sure.
The other thing that comes up a lot of times is, the judge wants to know, when did this condition begin? And you'd be amazed how many times people don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, well, that actually makes sense. I mean, something that, comes up over time.
Well, true.
Yeah.
And, in Social Security's mind, there's a definitive marker where the condition went from being something you could work with and you could manage to something that you could no longer work with and no longer manage.
And how long is that just sort of a mental break? It's like, I've been dealing with for a period of time, but you know what? I can't take it anymore.
Right.
And that's different for everybody, I guess.
Yeah, it is. But, there's going to be some idea in your mind of when your activities significantly changed, when you quit going to your kids' sporting events. When there's some marker when that happens.
Yeah.
And I understand with degenerative conditions, back conditions, for example, it's over a long period of time before that actually gets to that breaking point. But judges want to know when that breaking point is. And one problem that comes out of that is you'll have people that say, oh, my back's been a problem since I was 26, and they're 52 now.
And they've been working for 26 years.
Exactly. And that's exactly what judges look at, is say, what changed?
Yeah.
If it's been this bad at this level for this long and you worked with it, but what gives?
What gives, sure.
Another thing that comes up is kind of basic routine questions. Judge wants to know what the pain's like. Right? If it's a pain issue, so aching, stabbing, shooting, throbbing, you get a lot of I don't know on those questions too. And I know this seems very remedial, but the quicker you are with your responses, the more credible you look, because the bigger of a deal this looks like it is to you.
Yeah.
So you got to be a little bit prepared for these hearings or for talking with Social Security in general.
Always, yeah, always.
Yeah. And then, of course, another thing that we run into oftentimes is judges want to know how it impacts your daily living, how it impacts your life. And so when you get ready for a hearing, put some thought to how long you can stand, how long you can sit, how far you can walk comfortably. Answer these questions ahead of time. If you get in there and you say, I don't know, again, it just looks like maybe this condition isn't top of mind, isn't a big deal.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
And I tell people all the time, when you get ready to go into your hearing, walk through your house the day before and make a list of things that are hard for you, things that have changed the way you approach, things that you get help with, so that you have these things top of mind when you go into that hearing setting.
Yeah, well, and that's the real benefit of having an advocate like you, is to just at least, remind people, hey, these are the things that are coming up. You need to think about that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. A lot of times people think that I'm predicting the future, or clients want to know if I'm watching them in some way every once in a while. Because, I can read through the medical records and see the conditions and the severity, and I have a pretty good idea of what we should expect the answers to be. And of course the judge does too.
Yeah.
And it's when your answers don't jive with what the judge's expectation is that all of a sudden we have a problem.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. You know, anybody that's been involved in a particular career for a long time can seem like a prognosticator because you've just seen the same thing so many times.
Yeah.
You kind of know what that road ahead looks like.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Hey, if you've got some questions you want to talk to Roy, he's available today. The number's on the screen, 417-812-6698. Or you can scan that little code. You can zoom in on it with your phone, and they'll take you right to his website.
Yeah, give me a call, guys. I'm in the office all week. I'm anxious to talk with you.
All right, we'll be back next week with more Disability Guy. Thanks for watching.
I want to be your disability rep.